This video compares the installation of an older style breaker to the newer style breakers, and it shows a typical installation of all three. For this video, we've got our props are a regular old style breaker, the pigtail style breaker, and the CAFI newer style breaker. And we have a load here, which would be an outlet connected to its feed wires. Now, this feed wires, this could certainly have multiple outlets at the end to be a load, but we just have one to keep it simple, and we've also eliminated the main electric panel to keep it simple. So here you just have your three wires as though they were the ones coming into your main electric panel, and we'll show you how to hook them up to each one. The old style breaker was the simplest of them all, and it was very convenient. All you would do was hook this into your main electric panel, clip the front into the hot bus bar. Then you'd go back here and you'd hook the hot wire to feed hot power to your load to the back of the breaker, and you screw the screw in and tighten it up. Then you would take these two wires here, which made this really simple. You got your white neutral wire and your bare copper ground wire would both go to a bar which is called a neutral ground bus bar. It's called neutral ground because you get both the neutral wire and the neutral wire, the white wire, and the ground wire go to the same bus bar in a main electric panel. Now the difference is when you come to this pigtail breaker or the CAFI breaker both, they're going to have two wires attached to them now. They're going to have the neutral wire and the hot wire both from the same circuit, from the same load, run to the breaker. So what they'll do on this pigtail one, it has this extra wire here that has to be run to the neutral bus wire, the neutral bus ground, and you would also have your neutral wire, which goes to the load, would connect directly above this neutral wire on the breaker, and the hot feed to your load goes in the hole next to the hole where your neutral ground is. Okay, put those both in, you tighten up the screws on the top, and then this load is ready to go. Now, the other one, the CAFI type breaker, this is made by Square D. It's a very nice breaker. It's got this extra clip on the bottom, and that clip is really nice because what it does, it eliminates the pigtail. So therefore you have less wires in the panel, and it's actually quicker and easier to install. Just if you have the newer Square D panel, it'll have a bar running along the side, and you're going to click this right into the bar. It's called the neutral ground bus bar, and the neutral bus ground bar on this will have multiple screws in it, but there'll be gaps between the screws, and between these gaps is where the breakers will click on that neutral bus bar, and it'll automatically just clip on when you push it forward to the hot bus bar as well. Therefore this breaker is ready to go. Then you take two wires again from the same circuit for the same load. You're going to have the neutral wire is going to go right in the bottom of this breaker, silver covered screw, and then the hot feed going to the load goes to the upper part of the breaker. Then you turn it on and you're ready to go. Okay, back to these CAFI or arc fault type GFCI breakers. They have this little connector here, and that goes right on the neutral ground bus bar. And the interesting thing, you'll see gaps. This is on the Square D panel. This is the newer Square D panel, and it's made just for these type of breakers, and you can actually hold the old type breakers too. But the way this would go, they got these gaps between these screws. There's sets of screws where you hold your ground and your neutral wires, but this will actually clamp right between the screws, right in the gap between the screws, and then clamp right on to the hot bus bar. So you push it down on that, and you push it forward, and it locks in. And that's all there is to it. Very simple. This is the neutral part of the bus bar. There's also a neutral wire that runs with the hot wire to these breakers. So the neutral wire would go on the bottom, the hot wire to your feed goes on the top. So your load is going to have a neutral wire and a hot wire, and they have to be run together for the load to make it work. Put those on, snap this one in place, and then turn it on, you're ready to go.